Hello everyone, I hope you guys are doing well. I'm Shubham and you're watching letcreateanapp. In this video, we are going to learn how we can insert and delete row in table view dynamically. So let's look into the demo first and then we will proceed further how we can create this kind of functionality. So this is the demo in which we are having one text field, one simple line, a button as well as a table view, and as anything we will type in this text field, just like I'm typing my name Shubham, and as I am clicking on this add button, it will with some animation adding that row in this table view. We can add as many rows as we can. It's totally up to us that how many rows we want to add, and as we press on delete button, that row will be deleted with some animation. So we are going to create this functionality in this video, and if you like this video, please don't forget to hit the like button, and if you have any query or suggestion, please post that thing in the comment box. And if you are new to the channel, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button and press the bell icon to get the notifications of all my other videos. So let's start the video. Let's create an app. So now open an Xcode, click on single view application, click on next and give the whatever name you want to give. I'm just giving add delete cell like this, and just click on next and create this project where you want to create. I'm just creating this project on my desktop. So once the project is created, now we have to move on the storyboard and we have to design a basic layout which we have seen in the demo. So for that there is a we got a view controller, and in this first take or you can change the view controller to layout to iPhone 8 because that is much better in designing. Now we have to take one text field, so simply type text field and just drag and drop one text field, and we have to take one UI view like this UI view. So first let change the properties of this text field. So now we have to change the border style to this one, the first one, and just change the color of this view to gray. So now just give this constraint to this view, and the height should be like 0.5 pixel, and that is sufficient for this view. And take these two things in a stack like this. Now reduce the spacing between these two things to 0, and now we have to give the height to the text field. So let's give the height to the text field, and before that this text field is not coming at the proper place, so let's make this alignment to fill. So now I guess text field will come in the proper, yeah, correct. Now we have to just give the height to this text field to like 38 pixels, and that is fine. Now we have to take one button also, that add button. So simply type button like this and drag and drop button over here, and change the properties like the title should be add, the text color should be like white, and the background color should be like red or green or blue. You can take anything, it's totally up to you, and change the height to like 40 pixels, and width should be like 60 pixels or 80 pixels. It's totally up to you. Now take these two things in a stack, this stack as well as this button thing also in a single stack like this, and this stack is a vertical stack. Now change it to horizontal, and it looks something like this. The spacing is large, so we have to reduce this thing to 10 pixels like this, and this is look something like this. Now we have to just give the constraint to this stack view only. We don't need to give a constraints to every element, we only need to give constraints to this stack view. So from the top it should be like 30 pixels, from left it should be like 15 pixels, and from right it should be like 15 pixels like this. So we have given a basic constraint to this stack view, nothing else, so it's all set. Now we have to drag and drop one table view over here. So simply write table view like this and drag and drop table view over here. So just give a basic constraint to this table view, from top 10 pixels, from left 0, from right 0, and that is enough. And yeah, we forgot to give the bottom, so bottom 0 pixels like this. So our table view is set. Now we have to give our one prototype cell to this table view on which we will show our name as well as one button, a delete button like this. So this is our cell in which we have to take one label. So simply write label like this and drag and drop one label over here. Give basic constraints to this label, like from left it should be like 15 pixels, I guess. That should be great. And we have to give this as a vertical center in the container, this one. So these two constraints are sufficient for this label. Now we have to take one button also, a delete button on which user can tap and delete the cell. So just a delete button over here, and just a constraints like same 15 pixels. You can also fix the height for this button like 40 pixels, it's totally up to you. And even you can fix the width also, and a vertical in the center like this. Now let's change the title is like delete, and text color should be like white, and the background color of this button should be like blue, or yeah, it's cool, it's cool, completely cool. We can also give the width so that this button will look more attractive, so like 60 pixels like this. So our basic layout of this table view as well as this text field and button are ready. Now let's increase the font size for this add button. So simply write this 20, and this is also 20, I guess 20. Increase the width a little bit like 70 pixels like this. Now let's give our data source and delegate simply like this. We can also give these things via coding, but I prefer to give these things via storyboard. Now our view controller is ready. Now we have to do some kind of logical things, and we have to provide our data source delegate methods to this view controller so that table view can populate. So now let's see how we can do that. So let's click on this view controller. Sorry, we have to move from this tapping and click on this interface builder and just move on this thing. And now we have to take the outlets for these things. So first let's take the outlet for this table view. So simply write table view like this text field. So the name of the text field will be like text input like this. I should be capital. We need to follow the camel case thing. Now this is a button, so simply write button add like this. So we have taken the constraints for all these things. Now we have to take the constraints for these two things. So for that we have to take one table view cell class. So simply we have to take one new class, from press Ctrl plus N and click on next, and this should be like a UITableView cell, and we have to take one class of table view cell type, and this is like edit table view cell, and click on next and create this class. Now from the storyboard, first assign this class to this cell. So for that you have to simply click on this thing and just assign this class like this. And we also need to give the identifier to this cell, so just place an identifier over here. So this is all the basic things which we needed to set up a table view. If you don't know about anything regarding table view, you can go and watch out my complete series. The link of that series was mentioned in the description as well as on the I button. You can go and watch that series. You can get all the information about table view over there. So this is the just basic setup of table view. Now let's move on the story controller, class controller over here, and let's write down some extension. So we can write the table view data source and delegate methods view controller, and this is a UITableView delegate, UITableView data source like this. So we have written the table view data source and delegate. We have confirmed the protocols of table view. Now we have to write these two methods because these two methods are necessary. So first we have to return the number of rows in section. So for that we have to take one array on which the text will be added. So simply write let string array is equals to, this is of string type, simply like this. Now we have to return the number of counts in this string array, string arr. We have to simply use return string arr dot count, simply like this. Now we have to create one cell. So let cell, we have to use guard statement for this thing, that is good. Guard let cell equals to table view dot deq cell with reusable identifier, this one, and we have to pass the identifier which with same as the name which we have provided over there to that cell. So this one, we have to provide it over here like this, and this is a simple index path, and this should be like this edit table cell type, else we have to return a simple table view, empty table view object, UITableView cell object, because this method will return a UI table cell object, so that's why we have to return over here in the else condition. If this is unable to create this kind of a cell, now we have to simply return this cell, so we have done this thing. Now let's take the action for this add button. So whenever user press add button, this will trigger this method on click add button like this. So whenever user press this button, this method will be called. Now we have to write some basic logic on this add button, so that whenever user type anything in this text field and click on add button, that string will be added in that string array. So for that, first we have to check that text field is not nil. So if let text input dot text means there is something in this text field, and txt is not empty, txt is empty like this, and we have to check that it is not empty. So we have to place this not mark over here like this. Now we have to add this text in this string array. So simply write self dot string arr dot insert. We are using insert because insert method is always inserting at specific index, and append method is always inserting element at the end. So we are inserting that element at the top index, always at the 0 index. So that's why I'm using this method. Simply write tst and index is always 0. This is showing that error that string arr is not is immutable, because definitely we have used this thing as a let, so we have to change this thing to where. So simply we have to do this thing. So we have added this text which is in the text field in the string arr, but now we have to add this thing in table view also. So for that we have to use a simple method, that is a insert at row. So we have to inserting a new row at a specific index. So for that we have to just simply write table view dot insert row over here, and we have to pass the index path. So simply index path we have to calculate first. So we have to calculate first the index path, that at which index path this will added. So for that we have to simply create this array thing. This is index path like this, and we have to use this method. So the row should always be at 0 and section is also 0. Maybe if you have some other requirement that we have a different sections with different rows, then we can do this thing. And if we also adding a multiple rows, then we have to put all the index path in this array itself, and the animation should be like from right. I'm using a right, you can use anything else. So we are only adding a single row, otherwise we have to add 2 lines also if we are having a multiple index path. So for that we have to first tell the table view that we are updating something in the table view. So for that table view dot begin update, this method we have to put before this updation occurred. After that we have to tell the table view that the update is ended, means the updation is ended dot end update like this. So we have to write all these things. So we have to write this insert row method in between these two methods, so that table view get know that update is completed. So now let's run this thing and check that it is working fine or not. It is adding element at 0 index or not. So this is first time, so this is taking time. Now let's add this thing. So I'm typing something add, and it is adding a cell, and the height is a little bit less, so we have to increase the height, as well as we have to provide the this name to this label, and we have to remove this thing after element is added. So for that we have to just remove the text of the text field. So simply write text input dot text is equals to nil like this. So whenever user add anything, that get nil after adding. And one more thing, we have to take the things from the array now. So for that we have to take cell, and we have to do one more thing. We have to create the outlet of these two things in that class. So just move to the class. I've just provided all this thing in my video series, table view video series. You guys go and check out that thing also. So label name like this, so that's sufficient. We will talk about this delete button afterwards once we complete this add functionality. And one more thing, we have to give the height to this table view cell. So for that we have to write height for row at index path method, height for row at index path, and in this we have to return 60 or maybe 70. It's totally up to you, whatever height you want to give. So that's enough. Now we have to assign the string which is added in the text field. So for that we have to simply write cell dot the name of that thing is label name. We have to build this thing first so that it is get the name of that thing. Cell dot lbl label name dot text is equals to, we have to give the name to from the array of index string arr, and in this index path dot row, like this. So this is sufficient. Now let's run this thing and check that it is working fine or not. And if it is working, then we will proceed further how we can create a delete functionality. So let's put something over here and click on add. So this is completely working fine. Always we are getting a new element from the right, and it's adding at 0 index. So if we are clicking add button, if there is nothing, then no empty row is adding in this table view. So this is completely working fine. Now we have to create the functionality of delete, and delete functionality is not easy because in this table view the index path of all these delete buttons is 0, because we are adding this line over here and we are adding every element at 0 row. So the index path is also 0 always. So we have to put some other logic to get this thing. Now let's look how we can create a delete functionality. So we have to take the action for this delete button. So there are two things that we will take the action of this delete button in the cell class, and then we will, whenever the delete action will clicked, we will create one protocol and pass this that action to this view controller. That's a very long process. We can directly take the action of this button in this view controller also. So simply take an action simply like this, on click delete button like this, and in this delete button we have to perform some complex logic. So let's look how we can get this thing. So first we have to take the CG point of wherever user has clicked. So simply write first we have to take the point. So for that we have to take let point equals to sender. So sender is the button on which user has clicked, dot convert. We have to use this convert method. Okay, fine, yeah, because it is of any type, we have to change this thing to UI button type. Now we are able to get the convert method, and in this we have to use this method in which one parameter is points and the another parameter is UI view. So the point in this we have to pass the point 0. So simply write 0 like this, and the view, this is the view from which we are comparing. So we are getting this thing from table view. So simply write table view. So this button will provide us the point in table view. So we can judge this thing like this, and it is showing that ambiguous use of convert. Okay, so we have to use CG point over here, I guess. CG point, CG point dot 0. I guess this will going to work. Yeah, this is working. Now we have to just get the index path from the table view from this point. So we have to use card let index path is equals to. So for that we have to simply write table view dot index path, this one. So we can directly get the index path of any row by using points. So we have to simply get this thing points over here, and else this will return like this, and we will get the index path. Now we have to remove this thing on which user has clicked. So for that we have to remove that thing from string arr dot remove at index. So we have to use the index path dot row, this one. Now we have to just delete the row also. So for simply table view dot delete row, I guess, yeah, delete row, this one. and this will also take the array of index path. So we have to simply use the index path, the same method which we have used previously, this one, and in this we have to use index path dot row, and the section is 0, this one, and the animation, previously we have used the right animation, now we have to use the left animation, this one. Now same thing is with this method also, that if we are having a multiple index path, then we have to put these two methods also, begin update and end update, as this will work. So we will simply use tableview dot begin update, tableview dot end update, like this. Now we can run this thing and check that it is working fine or not. So let's run this thing and check. So basically this is very easy. You have learned something new, that convert method is very new for you. So let's run this thing. Hello, how are you? I am fine. So now let's delete anything. So we are deleting this. So it's completely working fine, and you can add anything, delete anything via same process. So this is very easy to do. So this is for today. If you like this video, please don't forget to hit the like button, and if you are new to the channel, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button and press the bell icon to get the notifications of all my other video. If you have any query or suggestion, please post that thing in the comment box. Meet you in the next video with some exciting stuff. Thank you.